Greetings to everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Clem Hackett, and I'm going to take just a few minutes to present some thoughts on the topic, what's love got to do with it? Now, I have a question for you. Have you ever been in love? When you are in love, how do you feel? Do you feel warm and fuzzy all over? Well, I once heard someone say they only feel that way when they have a fever. So not everyone may feel that way. To some, when they're in love, they get so engaged when they are on the telephone that when it's time to hang up, the you hang up game begins. I am sure you know what I'm talking about. You know, the first person will say, it's time to hang up, and the other individual will say, well, you hang up. And the person will say, well, no, you hang up, you hang up, you hang up. And it goes back and forth. I wonder why. You know, the two do not want to be apart from each other. Now, if you are smiling, you have probably been part of that game. Now, many rely on feelings to describe love. I have heard love described as a feeling that you feel, that you feel, you feel, that you have never felt before. You know what? I am so glad that love is more than just a feeling. True love is governed by principle, which is even greater than just a feeling. When our love is guided by principle, we can still do things for individuals even when they get on our nerves. Now, if love is governed by feelings and your loved one calls and asks you to do something, even if you can, you may be tempted to get irritated, and you may say to them, you better do that yourself. It is possible to love someone and not like certain characteristics of that person. If you don't believe me, remember that God loves the sinner, but he hates the sin. And in spite of how he feels about the things we do, his blessings are still showered on us minute after minute. Now, if this is so, why do we get all confused with this love thing? Is it because we get mixed up between love and infatuation? Is it because we follow the standard of the world instead of the standards of God? Or is it because, as human beings, we can at times be very selfish? Those are questions I will leave for you to answer right now. Now, sometimes we trivialize love without realizing it. That is why we have to be very careful to the songs we sing. Now, let us look at the lyrics to the song, What's Love Got to Do With It by Tina Turner. It was a popular song in the early 1990s, and even today, when some individuals hear it, they groove to it and take it all deeply without analyzing the lyrics, which fight for strength in our subconscious minds. Now, some of the lyrics go like this. You must understand, though the touch of your hand makes my pulse react, that is only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? Oh, what's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Now you may say, hey, it's only a song and we know better. But can you see how after singing this and similar songs time after time, how the mind can trick you into believing this? And the body often follows the mind. Now, for those who may not be tricked this way, I want to mention a few barriers we erect ourselves which hinder the love relationships in our lives. Let's start off with selfishness. As humans, we are very selfish, and most times we ask the question, what's in this for me? We do not consider the other person's feelings or needs when we make decisions. This is something we should keep in mind. Next, retaliation. At times, logic goes all through the window and we become super emotional. Our partner may have done something to us, and all we can think about is retaliation, or some would say, bad mind. How am I going to get him back? How am I going to get her back? We forget the other person is not our enemy, but our partner. And we should spend that energy working together instead of willfully sabotaging our relationships. Let us think of the big picture. Do not win small battles and lose your relationship in the process. Lack of care. How can we say we love someone and treat that person with a lack of care? Remember, action speaks louder than words. If we love the person, let us act with care. Improper communication. At times we are upset and we give others the silent treatment or a piece of our mind. Let us choose to communicate in an appropriate way. We should indeed discuss matters which concern us, but we need to do it respectfully. Finally, we need to follow God's template. Now, God's love is so much different from the love of the world, and we may be ridiculed when we follow God's template. But it is better to obey God rather than man. I have failed on probably all of these categories at times, but I realize that if I need to improve my relationship, I have to overcome my downfalls and do much better. If you want your relationship to improve, you too will have to do the same. What's love got to do with it? Love has everything to do with it. We need love to have stronger homes, stronger communities, and a stronger and better life. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. God loved us so much that he allowed his Son to die to redeem us. Today, is there someone in your life who needs forgiveness? If so, do not let retaliation, revenge, or an unforgiving spirit stand in the way of a happy relationship. You can love again. The choice is yours. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a life filled with love.